Hello, I'm Ollie and this is Criminolly, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, rabbits. It's my weekly wrap-up. I've only finished 2 books this week, which is a bit of a slow reading week for me. I blame that largely on the cold I've had, which has slowed down my brain as well as my reading, and also on the fact that one of the books was a book I didn't particularly enjoy. But yeah, so normal kind of format today. I'll talk about what I've read, what I am reading, some channely stuff, and just a kind of general Saturday chit chat. Really, it's a lovely day here today, I have to say. So. Looking out the window, it's very sunny, a bit breezy, and a bit chilly, I think, but a lovely sunny day. So hopefully it's nice where you are too. Right, so let's crack on. Oh, and also I've got the week off work now, which I'm very happy about. So it's been a busy few weeks at work, but I've now got a break in the run up to Easter, so a week off and a bit more given the bank holiday after Easter. So yeah, looking forward to a bit of relaxation and reading during that week, as well as family time. So, right, what have I been reading? So, first thing I read was House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski, if that's how you pronounce his name, I'm never quite sure. So this was a buddy read with MJ from Reading This Life. Hello, MJ. So MJ has paused her read of this book to read something that she doesn't want to throw against the wall. Instead, she was not particularly enjoying this. I thought it was fantastic. So I've done a review video for this, which will be going up on Thursday. But it's a very intriguing and interesting book. I mean, you know, famous for its interesting style, in that it's very interestingly laid out. It's definitely a book that you could not turn into an audiobook. Because it's quite fascinating in terms of its layout, and yeah, essentially in a nutshell, it's about a series of mysterious events that happen in this house, which seem to be kind of scientifically impossible, and the guy who lives in the house, who's a photographer and documentary filmmaker, makes a film about the house, and it's essentially, this is a book about that film, but a book that then has loads of footnotes from other people other than the author in it as well. So it's very dense and multi-layered, and I found it absolutely fascinating. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely somewhat a divisive book. You know, some people just completely can't get into it. Some people, I think, read it and then feel like they don't really know what they've read. I kind of feel like I don't know what I've read, but equally I feel like there are some messages in there that I took away. So I thought it was a really fascinating book. After that, I read Watership Down by Richard Adams. So this was the first of the birth year favourite books that I'm going to be reading, and a few other people have joined in the kind of read along. So Juan from Played by Visions was doing it as his vision of the month as well. So we've had quite a big group of people reading it. I've finished it, Juan's finished it, and Caleb Heinrich has finished it. But there are other people still reading it. And yeah, I should say, so this was picked as the favourite birth year book by Miss Reads a Lot and MJ again from Reading This Life. And yeah, I didn't like it, I'm afraid. I really didn't like this book at all. So it's split into 4 halves. So famously, and you know, it's a book about rabbits. And it's well known as, you know, one of the, I'm not going to say it's the first book that you know, had animals as the protagonists, because it certainly isn't. But it was, you know, it's famous for being an adult novel that has animal protagonists. And, you know, there are, you know, I think it kind of kicked off a wave of books like that. And it's, you know, a much loved book. Many people love this book. And when you look at the, you know, reviews on Goodreads, I think it's you know, the average, there are thousands and thousands of ratings, and the average is over 4 stars. So, you know, people clearly like this book, but I just didn't get on with it. So effectively, it's like a kind of fantasy quest type story, but about this small group of rabbits who go from their warren and try and find somewhere else to live and encounter various other creatures along the way. and I just couldn't. It's split into 4 parts, and the first part, and those 4 parts are roughly the same length. The first part I quite enjoyed. I quite got into it. It's got a lovely vibe to it in terms of its kind of depiction of the English countryside, which I really enjoyed. It reminded me a lot of Tolkien. So, you know, he has that similar love of the countryside, and also there's kind of a lot of lore in this. So there are multiple chapters where the rabbits tell each other kind of stories of like rabbit folklore, which are quite interesting. And I think there's even songs like Tolkien has as well. So I think Tolkien was definitely an influence on Richard Adams in this. But the more I read of it, the more I found I just didn't really care about the characters. And, you know, famously, it's a book with a big emotional impact at the end, but I was left cold by it because I just didn't really care, which sounds really heartless, but yeah, I didn't get into the lives of the rabbits at all, really. And I found it a very difficult book to follow. I found I kept on getting confused about what was happening and which characters were involved, and, you know, and I'm sure that's more my fault than the author's. But yeah, I really did struggle with it, and to be brutally frank, I was quite pleased when I finished it because it meant I could go on and read something else instead. So yes, a very famous and much loved book, but one I did not enjoy at all. So I've also been reading, so alongside Watership Down, I've also been reading this, Death of a Bad Neighbour, Revenge is Criminal, which is a collection of short stories edited by Jack Calverley. So Jack very kindly sent me a copy of this to read and review, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm about 2/3 of the way through. It's a series of short stories by independent authors with the common theme that they are about neighbours, and particularly kind of dispute between neighbours, given that it's a crime anthology. And, you know, as is usually the case with you know, anthologies like this, it's something of a mixed bag. You know, not all the stories are great, but there's been a couple of stories that I've absolutely loved, I have to say. And I also think it's strong as an anthology in terms of, I think the central theme is a really good one, but also Jack Calverley's done a really good job of the ordering of the stories. So you know, each story is a bit different from the one before, and that's a knack, I think, to editing a short story collection, is getting that right, and I think he's definitely got that right in this. So I'm hoping to finish this today. I've got 70 pages to go, so I think there's probably like 4 or 5 stories to go. But yeah, a very entertaining collection. I will do a review of this on the channel at some point, I think, because I think it deserves a bit of attention. Yeah, it's an independently published book, but definitely one that I think fans of the channel would enjoy. Now, what I sat down to read when I finished Watership Down, so I finished Watership Down last night, just before settling down for bed, and I thought, great, I can pick up a new book in the morning. That's quite exciting. So I picked up this, Gardens on the Moon by Stephen Erickson. So this is a book, as you can probably tell, I've got it out in the library, and it's due back on Saturday, and I can't renew it because someone else has booked it. So I thought, I've got to read this, because I've only got a week to read it, and then it's got to go back, and it's like, you know, it's 700 pages long, so it's not a quick read. And as I sat down, I read the first few pages, and then I thought to myself, do I really want to start reading A, having just come off a fairly long, you know, this is getting on for 500 pages, a fairly long fantasy type novel that I didn't really enjoy and had trouble following? Do I really want to go into a 700 page fantasy novel that is quite well known for being difficult to follow? Lots of people, I think it's one of those books that just throws you into the action with no explanation. And I know some people have struggled with that. So I thought, do I really want to do that? And then I also thought, do I really want to start reading another series? So I've just kind of totaled up in my mind the number of series I'm reading at the moment that I have not finished. And I think it's definitely more than 12, which seems excessive. So I'm not going to start this. Well, I started it, but I'm not going to finish it. I'm going to give it back to the library. I'm going to try and finish some other series that I'm reading, and then I'm going to go back to Malazan and try it at that point. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a separate video. I think I'm going to do my Sunday Bollocks video tomorrow about series, and the dilemma, if you like, of series, and the grip that series hold on our reading lives. and talk a bit about whether that's a good thing or not. So yeah, Stephen Erickson, not for me right now. So that one is going off my TBR for the month. So I'm going to finish Death of a Bad Neighbour. And then I think I'll probably pluck one of my pulpy series from my TBR box. So I think I'm probably going to go for the next survivalist book, because I'm really enjoying those at the moment. So I think next survivalist book, and then maybe Come Closer by Sara Gran. So fancy a bit of horror, and people seem to rave about that book. So I think that will be the next one I read after that. And then we will see. I'm conscious that in my TBR for the month, I did have the first book of another series. So the first book of the First Law series by Joe Abercrombie. So will I start that? I don't know. I might do, because I think that's only a trilogy. So there's only 3 books in the series, and I have got all of them. So I could probably rattle through that fairly quickly. So I may immediately break the rule that I've just set for myself. But yeah, we'll see. But I've been having a lot of thoughts recently about the whole process of setting a monthly TBR. And whether it is driving the right behaviour in me. So this is kind of in response to the Sunday Bollocks video I did last week about kind of the measuring of reading. So yeah, I'm kind of tossing around in my head different ways I could do my my monthly planning, if you like, that are not as concrete and don't tie me down as much. Because as you can see, I've got a big stack of new books I need to get to as well. Yeah, so on that note, so stuff that's happened on the channel in the last week or so. So what tag did I do this week? Was it I think it was the Skip to My Loo tag I did this week, which is a very entertaining one to do. Oh no, it wasn't. Or was it the Contradictions tag? No, it was the Skip to My Loo tag, I think. So that was a fun one. Not on my channel, but if you haven't seen it, Michael K. Vaughan's video for the Contradictions tag amused me enormously. So I will link to that in the description for this. That's definitely worth checking out. I also did a review of Lonesome Dove, which is a book I very much enjoyed. So that was another buddy read for me. So that was a buddy read with Bookworm Adventure Girl, Jolene from Bookworm Adventure Girl. So yeah, look out for that if you fancy a spoiler-free review of a Western to get you thinking about Westerns for June on the Range, which is coming in June. And what else have I done on the channel? Oh, and also I did my mega book haul video, which went up yesterday. So my first post 100 book challenge book haul. There will be some more book haul videos to come fairly soon. So I'll probably put up another one this week because I've got some more books on their way. Yeah, so that's kind of my channel stuff. What's coming up on the channel in the coming week? So I'm going to have a review of House of Leaves going up, as I've said. I've got a tag video to film. I can't remember now which tag it is, but I'll definitely be doing a tag video. And on Wednesday, I'll either do a book haul or a library tour. Actually, I've got a horror box down from the attic and filmed a library tour video, so I'll probably put that up on the Wednesday. And yeah, so it'll be kind of the normal run of things in the channel this week. But as I say, yeah, I'm definitely thinking about my process for picking books, and whether I want to try, rather than planning a month ahead, doing a bit more mood reading. So yeah, we will see what comes of that. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about very quickly is an event that's coming up in August, which is called, and I have trouble pronouncing this, but it is an amusing name. It's called Garb August, so Garbage August. And this will be a reading event for booktubers and booktube fans to enjoy, where the aim is to read complete trash. So, very much in line with the focus of my channel. We've got a few co-hosts lined up already. So this is an idea that was originally touted by Steve Donahue, but Wild from Played by Visions, Greg from Another Bibliophile Reads, and Michael K. Vaughan are all kind of signed up to be involved in that as well. So we'll do some official launch videos at some point in the future. We're just figuring it out at the moment. But yeah, look out for Garb August coming soon. So a month of reading trash. I think one of the first things we need to do is define exactly what trash is. For me, I think it's books that have no artistic, cultural or kind of political value, and are pure commercial entertainment. I think another maybe another trait of trash books is that they often explore interesting themes purely for the purpose of shocking and titillating the reader, rather than to make any useful points about those themes. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Garb August, but also really looking forward to June on the Range. So I'll be doing a video. Actually, that's another video that might go up this week, is my TBR for June on the Range. I've got a few books already lined up for that, and a few more I might pick up. Yeah, so that's my normal rambly Saturday video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you are all safe and well as usual. And yeah, hope you're reading good stuff. And I look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Cheerio.